Hey everyone, Jamie here. So, here's what I want to know. I want to know what it is about your life, your career, your work, your money, your home life, your relationships, your family. What is it? What is it about your life that just feels like a huge disappointment? What just feels like you're barely surviving, let alone thriving? What feels like you're failing? What feels like you're, did I already say disappointed? That you're just frustrated and disappointed with what you've been able to accomplish so far. Why am I asking you this? Because why does it feel that way to you? That's the next question, right? So first of all of these things that just came to mind that are disappointing you, that are frustrating you, that are below your standards, that annoy the crap out of you, that make you feel like a failure, all of those things, that's your contrast, right? That's the stuff that you wish were different. And why, right? Like, why do we feel that way? Because I was just thinking about this. I'm like laying in bed, I'm doing my breath work, and I'm literally like, oh, I really need to talk about this. It came about in such a totally different way, because how it came about was I was thinking, everyone that you think has like this perfect life, or everybody that you think is more successful than you, everyone that you're comparing yourself to, they have their own fucking shit. And this is the problem. You just don't realize it. The grass is always greener on the other side, right? Like, how many times have we heard that in our lives? But it's true. Like, everyone that you think is just fucking showing up and like just mastered this thing called life. So here's who I was thinking about. I was thinking about all the like famous people that like, if I tried to retrace it, it would be wild. I was thinking, I fucking love Albert Einstein. I fucking love Albert Einstein. Like, a genius, right? Like, everybody talks about, like, everybody knows who Albert Einstein is. Everybody knows him to be this, like, just insane intelligence, makes such a difference in this world, like such an icon. But like, his home life was shit. Like, he had, I mean, no relationship with his kids. Like, definitely at least one bastard child who he gave no attention to whatsoever. Like, yeah, his relationships totally suffered. He was this genius. He made such an impact on this world, but his home life fucking sucked. And, I was thinking about it because my kids know that I I'll like, so for example, do you remember, oh my gosh, like Princess Diana? Okay, Princess Diana. I'm a millennial. There is nobody who is a millennial or older who was not fucking obsessed with Princess Diana, who fucking loved Princess Diana. When she died, when she was killed in that horrific crash, by the way, I know someone who knows the family of the man who she was engaged to, and I have it on good authority that it was actually like a hit on him gone wrong. But anyways, well, it didn't go wrong. It was successful. But anyways, that aside, not to put a conspiracy theory in your head, I don't know anybody that didn't smell foul play in that whole situation, obviously. But Princess Diana, okay? She was the people's princess. And I'm not even, like I'm not from England, but as a child in the US, I adored her and I knew who she was. And she was this beacon of light and love. Can I tell you something? Her home life was shit. Not because she wasn't very loving, but she was suicidal. She had eating disorders. She was incredibly depressed. I fucking love her and I only have love for her. But the love that she put out into the world was not a projection of the love she felt inside of her. She actually really, really struggled with that a lot. And let's just say the whole freaking royal family is chock full of issues, right? They're these icons, but they are fucked behind the scene. And in every way you can possibly imagine, there's so much baggage, there's so much fucked up shit happening behind the scenes, behind closed doors, in every way imaginable when it comes to the royal family. Who else? I was like, what? When I found out that Martin Luther King Jr. had it's how many kids did he have with how many baby mamas? Martin Luther King Jr. As a kid, you just learn about him. JFK, you just learn about them. These are fucking icons. You learn about them. You have them on this pedestal. You just think oh my God, these are diamonds in the rough. These are people that are so fucking famous for the, I don't know, impression that they left and the positive change they were able to have. And I'm not disregarding any of that. What I'm saying is yeah, that's one area of their lives. And let me tell you about these other areas that weren't so great, um, one of my most favorite authors and beacons of light, spiritual leader, right? Wayne Dyer. Fucking love that dude, right? And he healed so much over the course of his life before he died. And he was a prolific writer, and he had so many books, and they were so impactful for millions of people, including me. And guess what? His relationship suffered, right? He had really broken relationships throughout his life. Same with Jack Canfield. A lot of these people, as they got into senior citizenship ages, really went on healing journeys, which I'm so happy for them. But so many people don't realize that there were very fractured relationships with first wives and second wives and third wives sometimes, and children. A lot of these people who we look up to, I can't say all, but probably all of them, but so many of these people who are wildly successful, who are icons, who are just these diamonds in the rough, we see what they accomplished, but we don't often pay attention to what was sacrificed for them to be where they were at. And who else? And so obviously that makes me think the obvious. I don't think anybody can argue that Elon Musk, for example. He is a freak of nature, a genius. He probably sleeps like 3 hours a day. And I think he's on, child number 13, but I think that's a very intentional because he's very concerned about the the birth rate decline. And I think he's just like very dedicated to doing his part to that because, several of the children that he has were through IVF or through, he's donated sperm to people, and then some were from relationships and stuff. But no, like, my kids know that I can appreciate the genius that is Albert Einstein. I can appreciate the genius that is Elon Musk. And the first thing I tell my kids is like, he's making, like, he is enacting incredible, like this is for the history books, he is doing things that are making a huge difference. And he's a wildly flawed human being like the rest of us. He's got sort of this superhuman, capacity, and that he sort of aggressively, you know, puts out into this world. And like, he's a very, very flawed human being, like, I think the problem is, let me take this out of scale from like famous celebrity people. Is it, who do you compare yourself to? Is it your friends from high school? Is it people from high school? Is it people from your childhood? Is it people from college? Is it your college classmates? The people who are on the same career path as you, right? Who are headed into the same profession. Do you look at yourself and do you think like, I suck, I'm a failure, they're doing so much better than me, they're making so much more money than me, they're married with kids and I'm not? Like, are you comparing yourself to your siblings? Are you comparing yourself to your parents? Are you comparing yourself to your coworkers or your colleagues that are in the same industry? Like, if you're a small business owner, are you comparing yourself to other small business owners, or are you comparing yourself to like other people in your industry? Like, I'm in the coaching industry and I'm totally guilty of this. I'm totally guilty of saying like, like that person is way more successful than me. Well, this past year, I had my mind fucking blown when I was taken advantage of. I had multiple things happen kind of back to back, which again, by the way, as a mindset and alignment coach, one of the first thing I thought to myself was like, whoa, why am I fucking match for this? Like, why am I a match for this happening multiple times in a row here? That's a whole nother video. But I was taken advantage of. I say that like I'm not an empowered person who's a conscious creator, but let me just make my point here. My loyalty was taken advantage of, and then I had an experience where I felt like I was just, well, both of these, they were both three experiences where I just felt like I had done my part. I was, in each of these situations, I had done my part and I was taken advantage of, treated very unfairly. And the situation, the way it played out, was completely out of integrity. And so what someone else did just felt like an abomination to me with how they handled the situation, especially given how the role that I played, especially given what I did in those situations and who I was. And how in integrity I was to have these situations where someone else was not reflecting that back to me and giving me back what I was putting out into the world. Like, it shattered. It shattered this image that I had, this idea that I had of how things would play out. And so one of the things, this was one of those like moments in my life where I realized these women, because I'm a woman, so these women in my industry who were at the top of the industry, kind of really famous in the coaching industry. When I had this experience, like one of these experiences, well, when I had these experiences, it sort of pulled back the curtain. And then turns out there was a lot of people who also had these experiences that I didn't know about. And when you hear other people's stories, you realize that all of these people that you had put on a pedestal, all of these people that you thought were wildly successful, let's just say they have a lot more money than you because they don't have the same ethics that you have, right? Like, that was my experience. That was literally my lived experience. This last year, these people who I had on a pedestal that I thought were just more successful, more wealthy than me in my industry, it turns out that a large part of why they are wealthier than me is because they keep people's money, who they keep people's money, whether those people, that's like a whole nother video. I shouldn't go off on this tangent. Let's just say, for the sake of this video, that they were behaving in ways that were unethical and by my standard, out of integrity, by my standard. And I just like had this moment where it was like a, what's that movie? Remember the movie, The Truman Show? With Jim Carrey, where you just sort of like, oh my gosh, is everything a lie? Like, is everything a lie? Like, is everything just a front? I had this moment, and I think it probably one of the most important moments in my life, where I realized nothing is like it seems. Okay, and nothing is extreme. Most things aren't like it seems. So if you are looking up to someone or you're comparing yourself to people out there and you're thinking, I wish I had what they had, I wish I was as successful as they are, this whole thing where you're comparing yourself and you're hating your life because of it, you're judging and criticizing yourself, and you're just literally miserable, or you're just literally not enjoying life, not loving your life because you're comparing yourself to the success of other people. I'm here to tell you, nothing is as good as it seems. I mean, I'm the first to tell you, like, there's so many on the surface. I'm such a successful, thriving person. I have my own shit. I have my own shit. Like, we are all wildly flawed people. And everybody that you look up to, I promise you, if you look up to them, everybody you're comparing yourselves to, just think about it. Just think about it. Who, when you're around them, do you feel less than? Who, when you're around them, do you hate how you feel because you feel like they're more successful than you or they're doing better at life than you? I'm not saying that on paper, maybe they aren't ahead of you in some ways. What I'm saying is there's more to the story. And the best thing that you could possibly do for yourself is give yourself a fucking break and celebrate all the things you have done and celebrate all the things you actually do have. And like, the most important thing that you can do is give yourself credit where credit is due. The most important thing that you can do for yourself is stop fucking comparing yourselves to these other people. To be grateful for what you do already have in your life and to make the choice to love your life exactly as it is while still being excited and while still looking forward to what is unfolding and what it is you desire and what it is you're calling in and what it is that you are hoping to accomplish. You can have both. You can feel good about your life exactly as it is and still be excited for more. You can still desire more and be excited for more without feeling like shit. But so many of us get caught up in focusing on what we don't have and feeling like shit as a result, or not even consciously, unconsciously comparing ourselves, unconsciously we feeling like shit as a result of unconsciously comparing ourselves to the people around us, whether it's our college classmates or our people from our childhood or our siblings or our parents or other people in our family, or again, like as professional adults, like other small business owners or other people in our industry. It's human nature to do this, but it's a flaw. It is a flaw. And if we're conscious and intentional in our lives, it's something that we can heal. It's something we can stop doing. And I'm telling you, you're going to feel a lot fucking better about your life the faster you do this, or the more often you do this, or the more aware you are that you're doing this, and you shift that. Do you want me to take you to school?
Why?
I'm making a video. Do you want me to take you to school?
Oh, can you?
I will. Give me a second. What time is it?
Okay. It's 7:42.
Okay, just let me finish my video.
Okay. I was gonna ask if you could help me put in, but
I love you. Okay, I was done anyways. So that's a perfect example. Like last night, I told my daughter, "Don't ask me to take you to school," and she always finds creative ways to end up in my room just to see if there's any chance that maybe I changed my mind, and is there anything I want to say, and is there anything I want to do? But listen, like, this is like me last night. I'm like, you're taking the bus tomorrow. Because, you know, my daughter chooses to go to public school. My son chooses to do homeschooling. And, like, it's in these little decisions that we make throughout our day. Like, I can take her to school and I'll feel good about taking her to school. And I know that it's going to feel good to her too. It's in these little moments. Like, I am a wildly imperfect introvert empath with a lot of chock full of issues and wounding that I'm actively choosing to make time to heal on a daily basis. But there's like 40 years of bullshit stuck inside of me. So there's a lot there. And so I'll have moments where I just feel like the shittiest parent in the world, where it's like I'm trying to pour from an empty cup and it doesn't work, you know? The kids will do something, I'll be super annoyed. I won't handle it how I want to handle it. I won't handle it in the way that I want to handle it, and I'll feel like shit, you know? It's like, that's not how I wanted to end the night, and I'm just so frustrated about it, you know? And but then I remind myself like, okay, whatever. So like either I can repair it that night or I can repair it the next day, you know? Sometimes there's a way that I can repair it that night. Like they haven't gone to bed and I can go out there and I can say, I'm sorry, I'm just having a really hard time. Like that was so frustrating for me. But like I know that it's like I know that that reaction that I just had is totally like isn't a match for like the fact that you just made noise. You know what I mean? Like I can do that. Or if they're already in bed, or if I'm like just not there yet, it's like, okay, well, I'll repair it the next day. And so I just like don't ever want anyone to be like, God, she's like nailing parenting. I mean, I do feel really good about my parenting, but I'm wildly flawed and I make a fuck ton of mistakes. And, I made a lot of mistakes when the kids were younger that I wish I didn't make. And we're always doing the best that we can in any given moment. I don't want to go off on another tangent, and this freaking video is already 26 minutes. So the point I'm trying to make is like, there's a different way to be thinking and feeling about yourself. And it's there, it's available to you. You just have to choose it. You have to decide to give yourself grace. You have to decide to stop comparing yourself. You have to decide, like, you have to just like, but sometimes it's so helpful to have a person like me say, hey, by the way, all those people that you think are like fucking nailing it in life, those people that you think are just like, it's like, just so you know, like behind the scenes, they're fucked up and they make mistakes and they are failures just like you, just like me. And maybe they do have these accomplishments on paper, but guess what? Like, it's like there's other things that's happening behind the scenes that maybe you're not even aware of. Like, stop thinking the grass is always greener on the other side. These people that you think have it so much better than you, like, are wildly flawed human beings just like you are. And they do have struggles and they do have failures and they do, yeah, like, nobody is doing as good as you think they are. And the fact that you think they're doing better than you is making you feel worse about yourself. Do you see what I'm saying? The bottom line is like, in order to, like, I'm trying to help you not feel so bad about your life. And also like point out the fact that like you could choose to not feel that way about yourself. And it'll make a huge difference in your life. And you'll love your life so much more. You'll feel much better about your life. So this is a reason to give yourself grace. This is a reason to give yourself a break. This is a reason to just love yourself a little bit more. Have grace with yourself. Focus on what you have accomplished. Focus on what is going right in your life. Have gratitude for it. Celebrate it. Feel good about yourself. You can do both. You can feel great. You can, excuse me, I got the hiccups. You can feel really good about yourself the way it is right now. By the way, that's a really powerful like manifestation hack. While also having aspirations and dreams and big goals that you want to accomplish. You can appreciate where you are now while still working towards or calling in even better. That's the message. That's the message. All right, your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to live and love your life on purpose. That's what I'm talking about here. That's the whole video. All right, bye guys.